Hey guys, Clem from Honeybee Social, and today I'm going to show you how to do hashtag research the really easy and free way for Instagram and for LinkedIn, and show you what the little bit of differences are between the two and how they show hashtags. So doing hashtag research on Instagram is pretty easy. So I do it on desktop, just that way it's a lot easier to copy and paste. But all you do is you just search for the hashtag that you want, and just, maybe start broad first, and that way you can see suggestions as well. And then Instagram will actually show you the hashtags that have to do with that subject that you've put in. Now, digital marketing has got a few million posts on there, so I wouldn't recommend using that hashtag too heavily, because your post is going to get lost in the mix. Your post will be way down at the bottom of the feed within a couple of minutes, whereas by comparison with something that has fewer posts, you have a higher chance of getting some exposure. So again, I wouldn't recommend it, but see, like that digital marketing expert one, that one's pretty good because it only has 94,000 posts, or even the digital marketing, whatever that hashtag is. But you can scroll through and it will give you suggestions on what other hashtags you can use that have to do with digital marketing. So you can find those super niche hashtags there to use so that you can get some more exposure. So again, digital marketing blog would be a really good one. But let's go ahead and take a look at that digital marketing expert hashtag. So again, I would just copy that hashtag and I would paste it in a Google Sheet. And I'm just going to format that so it's just a little bit smaller. That way we can actually read it and then elongate it. And then in the next column, I would put the number, just that way I know how many posts at the time that I did this research come up. And that way you can keep track of, how many more, posts that each one gets. And I would put, this is just like keyword research, so I would put synonyms in there and do that with hashtag research the exact same way. Find those synonyms, find those niche hashtags. So let's go ahead and try small business. So let's try and do something super niche. We're going to do small business Sydney because I'm a small business owner based in Sydney, and that one is a perfect one. That only has 6,649 posts, so it's super niche. It's highly local. It's really a great one to use. And you know that your content's going to get that bit of exposure because of people that are having a look at that, are supporting small businesses in Sydney, and quite likely would be looking for you if you were a small business owner in Sydney. So again, just put in that number 6649 in there, and that's how you would do a hashtag research on Instagram. So I would suggest using Google Sheets, but have one sheet for Instagram, one sheet for LinkedIn, and if you're on Twitter, I would do the exact same thing, have a separate sheet for that, because each one of the platforms works a bit differently when it comes to hashtags. So on LinkedIn, instead of the number of posts, and we'll try digital marketing again, LinkedIn shows you the number of followers of that hashtag. So see how many followers there are. That's a huge amount. So that can get you a lot of exposure if you start using that hashtag, but it also means that there's probably a lot of posts as well. So you'd be competing against people like SEMrush and, some of the big digital marketers out there, like Rand Fishkin and company, but it's still a really good one if you really want to get a lot more exposure and awareness of your brand. So again, you can click follow so that you start following it and those posts get into your feed. But let's go ahead and try that small business Sydney one and see what the difference is. And you'll see the result there when you click it is only 2 followers. So that is very, very niche, almost too niche. It hasn't really gained that much traction, but that's okay. If you want to go that highly niche, that's fine, but that only means that you're going to get that exposure to 2 people. So so then again, you would do the exact same thing with the Instagram hashtag research that you've done. Just copy and then paste into a Google Sheet or an Excel document or a numbers document, and then just cut and paste. So that's how you do keyword research the easy way. There are platforms out there that can give you suggestions on keywords or on hashtags. on which ones to use and which ones have the most amount of exposure and such. But a lot of those platforms are paid as well. I find that this is one of the easy ways to do it, and it also gets your creative juices flowing so that you can figure out some new hashtags that you can use to get that exposure and to get that engagement on your business. So again, Instagram, it shows you the number of posts, so you want to keep in mind that you want hashtags that have a decent amount of posts but not a few million, because then your post is going to get lost in the mix. With LinkedIn, it shows you the number of followers, so the higher number of followers means the higher chance of exposure, but also it could mean that your post again gets lost in the mix. I would recommend only using 5 hashtags on LinkedIn, just that way your posts don't look too spammy. So really think about what your post is about and use hashtags that really relate to them and that could resonate with your audience so that you can get that awareness and exposure and engagement. I would also recommend doing this research maybe once every 6 months, definitely at least once a year, because numbers do change, you know, trends happen, and you might find that there's one hashtag that you can't seem to get enough of, and that you want to really hone in on the amount of exposure that you're getting with that. So at least once every 6 months to do hashtag research, and then that way you also know which hashtags to use for which posts, and you're not going to be running out of ideas. So that's all the time that we have. If you have any questions or you just want to pick my brain about something, feel free to write them all down in the comments of this video. Or you can find me on Instagram at honeybeesocial_AU, or check out my LinkedIn profile and follow me to get some insights on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Anyway, talk to you soon. See ya. Have questions or need more information? Head to honeybeesocial.com.au.